Hey Rockers fans, welcome back to another episode of 66 Places, game one of a new series. We welcome Frederick to Truist Point tonight. Brendan Howe alongside Jamie Keefe as always. Jamie, last night an exciting one, 4-3, the most exciting game of that series. You closed out your first sweep of the season, and it came down to the last batter, a relay from right field all the way to the plate to get that final out. What were the thoughts coming down the line, down the stretch last night?
Well, I mean, one of the fastest guys in the league's at first base, so when you see that ball hit to where it was hit, you know, we knew what Billy was going to send him, and we knew it was going to be bang bang. It was a little bit less than bang bang, which was nice, and we had an opportunity to put the tag down. But again, you know, Benny really cut that ball off real well. He knew that he had to go direct. If it gets by him, you know, it's a triple and that run scores. But he cut it off, did the right thing. We got an opportunity to throw him out of the plate. Good relay by Russ, even though the throw took him inside instead of on throwing side, so it was going to take a little bit longer. But he threw another strike to the plate, and defense won us that ball game last night. You know, we had some timely hits, but at the end of the day, pitching and defense was darn good last night.
Now let's talk about defense. You guys turned 4 double plays last night. That ties a club record. You've done it 3 other times. Last night, though, probably none bigger than the one with Mickey Janis on the mound in the 8th inning. Working out of that jam, we had a bases loaded, nobody on situation. He comes back with a strikeout and then that ground ball double play. 4 double plays in one game. You don't really see it too often, but how crucial was it in those moments last night?
For sure. You know, this team is, you know, the one thing we haven't really talked about is the defense. We know we can throw some leather, but we're very athletic, super athletic. And when you have, when you've got 6 of your 7 position players, you know, let's not worry about the catchers, but you know, you got Nagowski with those hands at first base. He could play shortstop, but the other guys, aside from Nagowski, everybody else on the field last night has played shortstop in professional baseball. So these guys are athletic, and you know, you move the defense around a little bit, and I bring Yo into the infield, and Russ goes over to second base, and just happened to be one of those nights. And you know, I had a feeling, especially up the middle, that Russ and Grotti are going to get a lot of ground balls, which definitely happened. That's how Liam is. When Liam's going right and he stays down in the zone, there's a lot of ground balls. And you know, we certainly didn't throw great leather out there the first couple innings for him. I mean, guys were saying sorry to Liam because he'd been doing his job. He could have got out of the inning with. He probably could have thrown 8 to 10 less pitches through those first 3 innings, but because we botched a couple of balls. But at the end of the day, the guys made the plays when they needed to, and none was bigger, obviously, than the one in the 8th. But the one that really stands out in my mind was watching Yo at third base have a ball come up on him, hits him in the chest, and there's no panic button. It's just pick it up, step on third base, put a little more on the throw him up by 3 feet instead of throwing him up by 30 feet. You know, and that's just what we can bring to the table each and every night, no matter who's out there defensively. All these guys have been around. They've all played at a very high level. And there doesn't need to be that emergency. Oh my gosh, I have to make a play. And you know what happens is the game gets a little too fast for you for those 3 or 4 tenths of a second, and you jump to third base, and then your stride's too big, and then you can't make the throw to first base. Before you know it, you made 2 mistakes in one, and instead of just walking over there using your feet and throw a strike over to first and run off and laugh because Yo thought it was hilarious because I told him he was playing third base yesterday just before game time, and he was like, okay, you know. So, but that's how this team is. These guys love it. Good day to give Shed a day for his legs because he's playing on his turf pretty hard, and he's been playing really well up the middle himself. So, you know, nice to give guys a day off when we can.
You talk about Yo and how he just slides seamlessly to third base after playing left field for the majority of the season when he hasn't been DHing. For him to make a play like that at a big time in the ballgame as well, it was crucial. And you just brought up Shed Long. I want to talk about him. Back-to-back nights with a homer. He's really come along at the top of the order. .478 now leads the team in batting average. He has been one of the guys at the top of the lineup that's been a table setter, but also he's driven in his share of runs, and you go down the rest of the lineup. Nagowski with a home run last night. That was really the offense, was the Long home run, the Nagowski home run, and Aklinski chipped in with an RBI as well. How nice is it to know that you guys can not only blow teams out, because you outscored them 27-1 the first 2 games, and then you pull out a 1-run victory last night with the bullpen locking it down at the end and some tight defense. How good is it for you as a manager to see that you guys can win games in multiple ways?
Well, that's it. I mean, you need to, you know, we're only 6 games in, and you know, no matter who you're playing each night, you're only 6 games in. 7 games, you know, tonight's 7 games in. So we're still learning our team. I'm still learning the other teams. Our guys are still learning the other teams. But you know, when a pitch needs to be made, a play needs to be made, can we do it? And you know, that's what we needed after, especially after a blowout. I mean, a lot of times you see the back-to-back blowouts, and it's definitely going to be a one-run game the next day, and you're usually on the losing end. That's just how the game is, and that's how it's usually played. But we were able to stay on top last night and solidify the W. It's been a good ride. It's again, we're only six days in. It feels like we've been here for 2 weeks. But at the end of the day, getting a sweep and being able to move forward onto the next series, and we got 4 more at home, and it'd be really nice to get, if we could win 3 out of 4 of this one, and put ourselves in a good spot to start the season.
And before we get to tonight, Jamie, I want to address Liam from last night, Liam O'Sullivan. He signed with the team earlier in the day. You talked to him on the pregame show yesterday. You just wanted him to come out, throw strikes, with the defense help him out, and that's what they did. And how it really was admirable what Liam was able to do, coming in on short notice, giving you 5 innings, allowing just the 1 run. How nice was it to see that from him yesterday?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Liam's been around. He's done this for a long time, and he, it was a second chance. We told him that he'd get another phone call. It just wasn't right at the end of spring training, and that we'd be calling. We didn't know when, and it just happened to be a week later, and he showed up. I mean, at the end of the day, he's the one that showed up, and he was ready to go, and he stayed down in the zone. I mean, he made 1 bad pitch yesterday. That was it. 1 bad pitch, and it was in the middle of the plate, and it went a long way, and it was the wrong pitch at the wrong time. Blame it on I blame it on Blum, and had the talk with Blum, and I mean, that's how we are, and we talk about it, and we won't make that mistake again. And Liam, he hit his spots all day long, and showed us a lot, and that's a big pickup for us. When he's coming in, what are you going to get? We've had great pitching all the way through. Which Liam's going to show up, and he certainly showed up, and it was nice to have him last night, and we can't wait for another 5 days from now, and he gets back out there.
You've got Ben Bramer on the mound tonight, and he's a guy last time who carried a no-hitter through 6 frames, didn't make any mistakes, no hiccups from him. Tonight, looking to duplicate that effort. Not saying it's going to be a no-hit effort, but what are you hoping to see from Ben tonight?
Hey, listen, he's got to command the zone. If he commands the zone, he can do whatever Ben Bramer wants to do. He trusts his defense. We played great defense behind him in that first game. He trusts his defense, and he's a guy that when he works down in the zone, he gets a lot of ground balls himself. And there's nothing better than playing behind a guy that works fast, throws strikes, and works down in the zone, especially as an infielder. And we like it when the outfielders are very bored, because as an infielder, that's the way you like it. And no matter where you hit it, we can field it. We just got to keep it in play. And if we do that, and these guys are really believing in their defense, and if we continue to do that, we're going to have more success.
Best of luck tonight, Jamie.
Thanks, Brendan.
Game 1 tonight against Frederick, 6:35 first pitch, going for 4 in a row. Catch you tomorrow.